bring anybody down, but my intent is to bring you into the scene, and hopefully it will be memorable. That's a big guy that goes up here, and I think we're going to protect that. The dying woman lay on the bed with her mouth hanging open. Her face was pale, sunken. She was still wearing her glasses. Her chest rose and fell with certain uneasiness as she took her breaths. She was not old. The wind was howling outside. It made hissing sounds around the old window frames. It fluttered the cheap drapes. It was cold. It was dark. It was November. A spooky, unnerving, low, whistling noise came from the exit door down the hall each time the wind picked up and held, pushing its cold breath through a tiny gap in the doorframe. Everyone could hear it. No one wanted to. The room was dimly lit by a heart monitor and a small lamp. The remaining light came through a hallway door. Part of that light was blocked by a nurse who was silently crying and trying desperately not to let anyone know. The woman was surrounded by her children, her husband, and her siblings. Each had come to see and talk to her. She was the cornerstone of their lives. She had been coherent and clear in thought. She spoke to them all just moments ago. She reminded everyone of the football game next Saturday. She had made all the decisions and did what she could to make this easy on everyone. To turn off the IV drips, the external pacemaker. She was completely on her own. One of the boys had just arrived 30 minutes ago. She was waiting on him. He knew that with his arrival, he was ending her life. His brother and sister were there. They had come from the far corners of the country, none from this state. The oldest, a doctor, had left home fulfilling expectations to be the pride of the family, married, children, a big home on a golf course community. He was seated beside the bed, not handling this as well as he thought he would. The sister fled from the home early to escape the father who had ridiculed her ambitious dreams, called her stupid, blackened her eye. When this was over, she was determined not to do the same for him. She knelt by the bed, holding the woman's blanket-covered feet. The California brother was quirky, OCD, an atheist, and wildly successful. He dressed differently from everyone else, wore his platinum bleached hair to the middle of his back, never cared what others thought of him. He told the woman that he understood what she was doing and whispered his reluctant approval. It was an obligated reciprocation for the approval she always gave him. The husband was leaning against the wall next to his in-laws. He did not like them. He was controlling, grumpy, cynical of everyone, constantly complained about anything. He was amazed and in disbelief. The woman had dared to do this without his approval. She was to be helping him with the accounting and paying bills and solving business deals. He was terrible at making deals. She made the deals. The dying woman didn't have to make deals anymore. She didn't have to pay bills. She didn't have to deal with a man who had made her days miserable. She didn't have to plan schedules, return calls, or listen to problems. She didn't have to take any more drugs. She didn't have to wrap presents or make Easter baskets or knit sweaters or baby blankets. She'd already done it. She reared a family who all succeeded. She had taken care of loved ones. She had worried with others about others. She had stayed proud. She had stayed dignified. She had stood facing in the wind her entire life. She didn't have to do any of that anymore. The only thing she had to do was this. The room was quiet. Only the wind gusts and the hallway exit door noise that no one liked. The woman's breathing was labored and slow. The wind picked up and pushed down hard on the building. It kicked up dirt and debris that tipped against the window glass. They all turned to the window and saw nothing in the black panes. The gust died down. Each focused attention on the woman, one by one. Her breathing had stopped. The heart monitor showed beats that were increasing slightly. The dying woman who lay in the bed, with her mouth hanging open, grabbed hold of the wind that watched everything, that knew everything, kept her company, and pulled her away, leaving them all.